So the BET Awards happened this past Monday. Doesn't that sound weird? The BET Awards happened this past Monday. And I got a chance to check it out. Not the whole thing. I didn't watch the whole thing for one, because why the hell was BET Awards? Why was it on a Monday? Why was that on a Monday? So I'm hearing rumors floating around that it's because it was a money thing and they couldn't afford to do it on a Sunday. I don't know how true it is, but it was very weird that it was on a Monday. I watch wrestling on Mondays, but anyway, I got to check it out. It was some good stuff on it. I like Jamie Foxx's tribute. I like Snoop Dogg's tribute. Mariah Carey's out doing her thing. I didn't catch all the performances, but it was beautiful to see. I love the 106 in Park tribute that they did. It really was a lot of nostalgia. So somebody was like, they said, damn, these new artists, we're going to go to the 2000s, right? So anyway, it was good. But one thing that a lot of people have been talking about recently was Wale versus Kai Cenat. Now, for those who don't know who Kai Cenat is, of course, he's this famous streamer, young guy, I think he's like 24, 25, and you should know who Wale is. So what happened was Kai Cenat was doing coverage, live streaming at the BET Awards, because I heard he was invited. And he ran into Wale. And let me show you exactly what happened. It was real interesting. Um, let's see. Give me just a second. Let me pull this up. So Kai was at the BET Awards, and this was his exchange with Wale. Fair use, by the way, fair use.
Smash Bros. I'll be the brat.
So he just dapped up Wale. Look at this.
Chad, does anybody have the Nintendo Switch? You're not even a Nintendo Switch type of. Nah, me neither. I ain't gonna lie. But I heard it was like crazy though. I heard it was crazy, bro. Wale. Oh my God, that was somebody crazy. Hey, the whole chat knows him.
Wale.
Wale? What he do?
Rap.
Oh, word.
You know this? You looking like
Nintendo Switch.
So the dude in the car was like, yeah, he raps. He raps. He's, Kai Cenat, he's like, what? He does? Word? Okay. And then the dude was saying, he rapped Lotus Flower Bomb and different stuff like that. So Wale ended up confronting him because it blew up that Kai Cenat didn't know who he was. So then Wale actually confronted him, and I'm using my air quotes. He confronted him at the BET Awards while the show was going. I don't know if the show was going on or what, but I know Kai was sitting with Snoop, and Wale came to him and said, "Hey, bro, you got me looking crazy out here, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it though. I don't feel like looking for the clip, but anyway, that went viral, and you had a lot of people from Ray Daniels to Charlemagne and them on the Breakfast Club pointing their fingers at Wale, saying, Wale, you shouldn't be mad. Wale, he's a kid. Wale, there's a big age gap. Wale, everybody ain't gonna know who you are. Wale. So Wale ended up looking like the bad guy. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna put myself in Wale's shoes. Okay. For one, should Wale have approached Kai Cenat in the manner that he did? Maybe not, right? You see somebody streaming. I don't know if he knew he was streaming, but he ran up on him. He talked to him. And the thing is, with these streamers, I don't know. I've never been around them, but they stream like 24/7. So maybe Wale didn't know. But anyway, if Wale knew he was streaming, right? So Wale, is he wrong for approaching Kai Cenat, saying what he said? Maybe. He could have did it a different way. But the other way that you got to look at this is, in the days of content creation, which is me, in the days of streaming and all this other stuff, right? You may not know that these people may be trolling you or not for views, for clicks and views. Because what's sensationalized? Oh my God, Wale is confronted by Kai Cenat. So, Wale may have looked at it in a way of, this man's trying to play me. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing is, does everybody know? Is there an age gap between them? Yes, right? I feel that. But on my end, I'm looking at it like, bro, you didn't know who Wale was at all. Is it the fact that, should we point the fingers at Wale? Should we point the fingers at Wale, or should we point the fingers at Kai Cenat for not being cultured? Is Kai Cenat just not culture? Because the whole thing is, man, I know Wale is not as big as Drake. I know he's not as big as J. Cole. And I know he's not as big as Kendrick, right? Even Big Sean. But Wale has had some hits, man. He's had some hits. Wale has the most notable verse, arguably, on the No Hands record. No Hands is one of the big, that song went diamond. To this day, people love No Hands. I say, look, ma, no hands. I say, look, ma. Like, you didn't know Wale. Even this is what it got me. The fact that if you run into Wale, if you run into Wale and may not know what he looks like, I can get that. He's been incognito. He's not as big as a Drake or J. Cole. I get that. But the fact he didn't even know how to pronounce his name or just know what his name was and talking about what does he do? Wale has had some hits within the time frame of Kai Cenat growing up. Lotus Flower Bomb. Kai Cenat was alive when that song was up. No Hands. He was probably, I think somebody said he was like 9 years old, but I mean, that was a popular record. Wale has popular songs now. We can't sit here and act like he's just a nobody. You know, that's the fact that you didn't even know what he did. And this is the thing for everybody saying, oh my God, there's a big age gap. Because I heard Charlamagne saying this, like, Wale, you're 40 years old, you're old enough to be his dad, whatever, like this. Okay, so if that's the case, and Kai Cenat gets wiggle room not to know him, why was Kai Cenat's chat? Why was Kai Cenat's chat? How did they know who Wale was? His audience. Because he said chat, who the chat, everybody knows him. Yeah. So those are people who are in his demographic, right? How did they know who Wale was? That I want you to think about that. If this big age gap, and then you're saying the youth don't know who Wale is, how the hell does his chat group, how does his audience, how does Kai Cenat's audience know who Wale was? That debunks that right there, so I feel like Wale had every right to feel the way that he did. Now, did he have to approach him like that? That's debatable. Kai looked like he really didn't know. But also the reason I'm saying this is because look at this. Let me share my screen. It's other reasons why I feel like there was a problem with this. Look, so Kai was on the red carpet, and it's a lot of people that he didn't know. Look at this. This is Robin Thicke right here. Look at Kai Cenat. Listen to this.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm trying to get this. See, I'm trying to get her. Oh, I think I lost her number by accident. Legend. I don't know, bro. Do you know who Robin Thicke is? Yeah, the singer. Yeah, right there. You just say you watch me. I don't know who that is.
So he's saying he don't know who that is, right? Let's see some more.
What's up, man? What's up, bro? You doing good? Wait, am I supposed to start from over there?
No, you're gonna come down this way. We can loop back around because there's a bit of a line.
Oh, Mario's Mario? No, Mario's right there, though. No, seems like it. Yeah, that's Mario.
Okay, he said Giveon. He didn't know him. Let's keep going.
You know the Brat? The Brat? Yeah. Remember the Brat? I don't know who that is. I'm so sorry.
Okay. He don't know who the Brat is. So my thing is, with all that being said, maybe Kai Cenat just isn't culture. Because the thing is, I don't think it's an age thing. Because back in my day, when I was growing up, right? If I was to walk by the Temptations, and it was Otis Redding that just walked by, right? If Otis walks by and I didn't know him physically, I don't know what he looks like, that's one thing. But if somebody was like, hey, Jared, do you know that was Otis from the Temptations? I wouldn't have been like, who was that? Like, who is that? Like, I don't know who that is, because my parents put me on. My grandparents listened to the Temptation. That means that I was cultured. I think Kai just isn't cultured. So my thing is, shout out to Kai Cenat. I'm not trying to dump on him or anything like that. But it's like, why, are you at the red carpet if you're not really cultured to know who these people are? If you're supposed to do media and interview these people. Now, if you're there just to show your experience at the BET Awards, that's one thing. But I didn't know he was on media. He's on the red carpet, and it looks like an act, to be honest. It really looks like an act. But my whole point is, Wale has some hits in recent memory, even if it hadn't been, most recent, but like in the last 10 years, 15 years. If you're listening to rap, I've been listening to rap since I was a kid, and I knew who a lot of these rappers were that were way older than me. You know what I'm saying? Now, even if I don't know what they look like physically, if somebody said, hey, do you know who this person is? I'll be like, oh, that's who that was. But for him not to know nobody, you on that red carpet, I don't know who the Brat is. I don't know who Robin Thicke is. Those are just some people that are within the culture that maybe your parents would have known anything. Like, was Kai Cenat sheltered as a kid or something like that? So I'm looking at both sides of the fence. I think Wale had the right to feel the way he did. Now, whether he should have approached him like that, you know, that's different. But I'm not about to jump on the bandwagon of, you know, Kai is so young and all this other stuff, and it's just didn't know nobody. I'm like, how does your chat group, how does your audience know who Robin Thicke is? How does the dude standing next to you know who all these people are, but you don't? So I think it's a Kai Cenat thing and not a Wale thing. And it also shows you this gap, I feel like, between old and young when it comes to like streaming and stuff like that. Because I can tell you this, a lot of these streamers out here, I wouldn't know who they were. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody said, "Oh, who," I wouldn't be on nobody's red carpet saying, "Oh, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is." I shouldn't be on the red carpet then. And BET Awards and everybody, you know, who wants to get this man on there, because he is a man, y'all need to be cautious of that, because at the end of the day, it's still disrespect. I don't think that people put themselves in Wale's shoes because they call him a crybaby and all this other stuff. Oh, well, I know Wale be a cornball on some stuff. I get it, right? But you know, it's not just Wale that it affected. It affected Robin Thicke, the Brat, and Lord knows who else. Those are just the clips that I've seen. So I'm on that side of it. I'm like, maybe Kai Cenat just isn't cultured. You're supposed to know some people. Even if I was a kid and I walked by Luther Vandross or a teenager and I walked by him and didn't know him, they'd be like, "Hey, J Red, that's Luther Vandross." I'll be like, "Oh, that's him. Let me get a picture of him so I can show my mama." You get what I'm saying? So yeah, Kai Cenat, I just think he's not cultured. You know, that's my take on it. So y'all let me know in the comments what you think about Wale. Was he wrong for approaching him like that, or is Kai Cenat just not cultured based off of the video that I played you? You know, I'm willing to take the latter. But anyway, let's move on.